Welcome to Titan Video. We're visiting with Marcia Foster, fourth-year head coach of the women's basketball program at Cal State Fullerton. Coach, with the start of the season just around the corner, I'm just going to ask you probably one of the most obvious questions people are thinking coming into the season. How do you replace standout players and leaders like Megan Richardson and Lauren Chow?
Well, you certainly don't replace them with one player. You replace them with a team. And since Megan and Lauren's last game last year, that's what the message has been, that we're going to have to do this as a team. And so they've heard that since the spring, and we've continued with that same message throughout preseason and the beginning of practice. And again, it's one person does not have to carry the load. So it's a good thing.
Well, you've already alluded to it. This year's squad is one of the youngest in all of Division I basketball this year. What are some of the things that this team's going to have to do early on to be successful?
Well, I think if our defense can keep us in games, I think our defense right now is a little bit ahead of our offense, although we are getting some production on the floor, just a little scrimmage opportunity to see that we can do some things on the floor. But we've focused on defense early to get the concept of a team, of being a team, playing team defense. And so, a lot of those players had experience last year. They got in games. There's nothing more valuable than game time experience. And all of them that are playing now, especially one, Katawua had the opportunity to start last year. So although we may be young, they have had some experience on the floor.
Well, we've kind of talked about how young your team is, but let's make no mistake about it. You like this team, don't you?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love this team. First of all, we have a great senior leader, Lauren Bouchon. It's time for her to have that breakout year. We're counting on her. It'd be nice to see a double-double from her. And then our juniors, Alex Thomas, Maya Olivier. We expect exceptional leadership from them and production on the floor. And they've been great. They've been absolutely great in setting the pace and setting the tone and grabbing the reins of this team. So it's been good. And then Brianna Barfield is a JC transfer, who's also a junior. So we're young. Yes, we have a senior, we have 3 juniors, and then the rest are youngsters.
Well, let's talk about Maya Olivier a little bit. I mean, obviously, pretty cool story so far. 2 years ago, she suffered a season-ending injury a few games into it. She comes back last year, takes home, she almost averages a double-double for you guys, about 9 points a game and 8 boards. I mean, so it should be no surprise that she took home all-conference honors last year. What's she going to mean to this team? What's she going to provide to you leadership-wise on and off the floor?
It means a lot when, we've talked for years about developing a culture here, a culture of hard work, of not cutting corners, because we believe that the strength is in the corners. When you have your leadership, grab hold of that, and that's what Maya's done. Maya embodies that culture. And so for her, I'd like to see her take another step on the floor. She's talented. Sometimes it's hard for athletes when they come from highly touted programs, and there's been so many talented players. A lot of the players that both Maya and Alex play with are playing, Division I basketball, and they have maybe secondary roles on their team or support roles. So it takes them time to develop into and to understand that they are capable of leading the team, and both not just as far as the culture, but as far as production on the floor, and almost demanding it from themselves, and the young ones too.
Well, you've mentioned before sophomores have a big role on your team. You expect a lot out of sophomores, and Kat Wuha, she's going to be one of your biggest sophomores this season. You got her. Alex Thomas has gotten better seemingly every year, and she being a junior this year. Despite losing some key players, you have a group that you can depend on. What's your expectations for your returners this year?
Well, again, understanding how we're going to be successful. Okay, if no one cares who gets the credit, this team is going to be really successful. If they play for each other, this team is going to be very successful. Now, I know every coach in America can say that same thing. I think this team is really embracing that. And also, let's get down to the nuts and bolts. Like, people have to score. We have to have people take on that responsibility and think of themselves as scorers, because we have that all over the floor. We have it. It's just letting that mentality come out. So the sophomores, like you said, Kat started last year. Natalie Williams got time. She's going to play a lot for us this year. Taylor Butler is going to be significant. When shoots the ball like her. Shantae Miles, she has a little AI in her. Well, she's a scoring point guard. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I think something that's really important is the chemistry that this team is developing. And as a coaching staff, we're trying to do our job to make sure that practice is harder than any game can possibly be, so this team can just go out and play and have fun. It's going to take us some time, and it is about the process this year. I think this team has bought into the fact that if we just keep getting better and better and better, by the time league arrives, we'll be a tough team.
And I think let's shift gears a little bit here. You've already talked about Zava Grooms a little bit and Brianna Barfield. You had, I believe, 7 new faces on the team last year, and you've got some new faces this year. But with these two transferring from JCs and then Zava from Utah State, pretty solid basketball program. Do you feel like these guys can provide a little bit of a leadership role, or what kind of impact do you feel these ladies are going to have on your squad?
Well, I mean, when you go out and you bring in a junior college player, you expect that they're going to have a significant impact on your program. And Brianna Barfield has done that right away. It takes time, again, to understand how, systems work and things like that. But as far as the hard work and the effort and, being one of our best and performing like that on a daily basis, that's been very important. And crucial to her being, embraced right away. And it's like she got it right away. Like, she came with that. She comes from a strong line. Her dad's a very successful high school coach, and so she comes with a toughness and a defensive mindedness that we love. Zava Grooms she's a sophomore, so she's young. We're excited that she is going to play right away. We recruited her hard out of high school, so we're glad she's back. And she's a relentless rebounder. And there's something to be said for that. You can work on rebounding all you want, but someone who just has a nose for the ball, and she's like that. Katawua is like that.
I mean, it seems like you've got new people all over the place. You've got a new coaching staff this year with Lori Morris and Jorge Serna joining your staff. How's it been working so far, and what's your philosophy as a coaching staff, and how's it maybe different than years past?
Again, it's the same for the coaching staff as it is for the team. If no one cares who gets the credit, we're going to be really, really strong. I have brought in a very, very talented coaching staff. Lori Morris is a long-time coaching peer of mine, and I knew her from the high school ranks when I first started coaching college basketball, and we've talked basketball for 15 years. I'm really, really glad that she decided to join us. I'm glad that I asked. She's strong. She's talented. She's a great bridge between the players and myself. She doesn't allow for there to be any excuses or explanations about a lack of performance, which is so nice because it stops there. It doesn't have to come to me all of the time. Besides that, she's a brilliant X's and O's coach, and just is really helping to make this program become a program in so many different ways, all the little things that an experienced person brings. Plus, she makes me better. That whole iron sharpens iron is true. I feel like I've become a better coach, and I'm always working, but it's another level now. Jorge Serna, it's really nice to have his dynamic on the staff. He's been very fortunate to work for some really great coaches down at San Diego State. He's had some experience being a head coach himself. He's good for our kids. He's patient. He's really, really bright. He understands the game, and he's energetic. And I'm excited to have him on the staff. Again, I've had really good people on my staff. Make no mistake about that. I've enjoyed my assistants in the past. But this was a great move for this program to bring in the type of experience that I've brought in. And then Monica Kwan, she's blossoming under all of the experience around her. She's stepping up to another level. So, and we're all on the same page as far as what we're trying to do. And the players know that, and they see it every day in practice. They see our interaction.
You guys are all growing together.
We are. And there's been some, when you bring in strong people, there's going to be some fireworks at times, both on the court with players and with staff. And that process of forming and, storming and norming and performing, that whole deal, we're going through each phase. And but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Perfect. So let's talk. The last thing we have to talk about, I guess, is the schedule. The teams you actually have to play. You guys are playing at least 8 teams that took part in some sort of postseason berth last season, and 5 of them are from your own conference. So obviously the Big West is going to be strong again this year, and then you've got Hawaii coming into the picture. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me who we play and who's in the conference, because our conference changing all of the time now. I love the rivalries that we have. I know the coach at Hawaii, and happy that she has that opportunity. But as far as how I feel about it, it doesn't matter to me who we play. Every opponent is a chance for us to get better. Every opponent. I want people to start thinking about playing Cal State Fullerton and us thinking about playing a basketball game. So I know that our conference is going to be tough. I know that people are good, but so are we. And we have, we're young, and I think people know that. I think people know that we lost a lot, so they don't really know what we have, because we were so young last year. And we're still young, but we have some experience, and we have some young experience, but we have some experience, and we have some talent. So I'm excited. Our schedule is formidable, though. Preseason, we have a nice little stretch there. Everybody's getting better. Every team that we're playing is getting better. So it's up to us to step up to the plate, defend home court, and win away.
Do you feel like maybe the fact that you're under the radar a little bit this year could maybe play to your advantage?
Again,
Or do you use that as motivation?
This team, hopefully, and I know everybody's human and they're going to be affected by outside things and all of that, but hopefully we're getting the message across that this is an opportunity that comes along and goes so quickly. Like, you don't get to play college basketball your entire life. You get to play it for 4 years, maybe 5, that you have that opportunity. And so the message that they hear on a daily basis is to maximize what they have, to be responsible for their gifts, and to lay it on the line, to not cut corners. Okay, so saying that, what people say on the outside, we're trying to keep this team close, this family close, and get past that piece, or play in spite of it. So whether people pick us last, like they have in the media, or first, it doesn't matter. We're coming to play the game, and so hopefully they have the same chip on their shoulder that I do.
So last question for you, I think this ties in perfectly. At the end of the season, when it's all said and done, when people think of Cal State Fullerton, what do you hope the first thing comes to their mind?
Ooh, man.
That's deep.
Those girls got after it. and I'm happy for him. I hope that's what people are saying. I'm happy for him.
Coach, thanks for your time and all the best of luck this season.
Thank you very much.